done. Oh yeah? Can I get a oh yeah? Corner shield, corner shield, corner.
Ryan Edwards, how are you feeling?
Great, good.
And how do you like our setup for the interview?
Nice, loads of friends, our friendly friends here want to join in, so it's all good.
Let's adopt him and take him back to the
Yeah,
hotel.
there's plenty to choose from. They're all friendly, so just got to be careful, obviously, with them. You never know. Like, they were kicking off over there and jumping up at you, so got to be careful.
Yeah.
The claws.
So, how did you first start playing football?
I don't know what my age, probably 4 years of age or something like that. So where I'm from, a place called Halewood in the city of Liverpool. I was lucky enough, my grandfather, he'd worked in the community a lot of running football teams up to the age of probably 4, when myself and my cousin were starting out. So what he'd do is he'd manage teams as well as run the whole league as well. So myself and my cousin started playing, he was a year below me, so we started playing at a similar time. And what happened then is when we started going to school and stuff, we obviously made friends who loved football as well, so we started getting teams together. We were called Halewood Juniors, and we used to win everything from 4, 5, 6, under 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. We used to win everything. We'd have a winter league, it was called over there, and we'd win that, and then we'd have a summer league for 6 weeks at the end, when it was obviously a lot better weather, a lot better atmosphere on a weekend, on a Saturday morning, and then we'd go and win that as well, and we'd end up winning the cups. So it was probably down to me dad and my granddad. Obviously I loved football anyway and didn't want to do anything else, but my granddad ran the community leagues for the young kids in school. And then he'd also manage our team, so we were just straight into it. So 4 years of age, I'd say, my guess is what I'd started, fall in love with football.
Did you always play as a centre-back, even back then?
No, back then I was actually centre midfield.
Oh.
So, because I was, at that age, 4 onwards, up until about 11, I was much bigger than everyone. So I was always, like my brother, my brother was always tall and he played up front. But I always played in midfield, and I think at the young ages of about 6, 7, 8, because I was so much bigger than everyone, I was far more ahead of everyone physically. So I was always stronger than everyone physically. I could hit the ball from wherever and score. And I remember one time, we played another local team in the league. I think we were 7 or 8 at the time, maybe 9. And what had happened, the team who I played for, the pairing to be on one side, and the opposite team pairing to be on the other side. And there was a complaint one time against us that I was overage, and that caused a lot of trouble on the sides, because I was just so much bigger than everyone. People thought I was overage, and you know, we weren't cheaters. We played the game properly, and it was just to enjoy it, and we loved it. Down to my granddad, a lot of it, the leagues he ran, and still does to this day. He's 83, I think, now, and he's still running football leagues and teams because he just loves it.
I think that speaks about his passion for the game as well, because he just wants to keep imparting it to the younger kids as well. Can you share a memory from your football journey that you hold close to your heart?
Football journey? I think it's always the first when something happens. So when you get your first trial, probably is from Sunday League, from a junior team, to getting your first trial. My first trial actually was, you probably won't know the team, I think they're in the 4th tier of England now, Crewe Alexander. And I wasn't ready to go into a professional club at the time. I think it was maybe 9 or 10 at the time, and I sort of froze a little bit. And I think he only went twice, and then that was it. And then I kept getting better then as I got older, playing with my friends, and then you start playing for your school. And then what happens when you start playing for your school? The whole of the city of Liverpool, they choose the best players from the school teams to go and represent the schoolboys, which is what I did. I started playing for the schoolboys, and then lucky enough, one day the Everton coach was watching, I think I was 13 at the time. And then he got in touch with the manager who got in touch with me to go in for trials and stuff like that, which I loved. And I was on trial at Everton for a bit. And then it was crazy how it worked out. That coach then left, who released me from Everton. And then he went to Blackburn Rovers, I think, straight from there, I think it was a week or two later. And then he then signed me for Blackburn Rovers the week after releasing me from Everton, which was bittersweet really, because Everton were opening up the new training ground from around the corner from my parents' house where I lived, which would have been ideal. Even though I was a Liverpool fan, I'd have loved to play for Everton because I could have walked the training. Okay. And then I had a good friend from school, Jordan, who played for Everton as well, so it would have been perfect. And then a week later, he rang me up to go and sign for Blackburn Rovers, and I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me, to grow up and stuff like that and mature as a player.
How was your journey at Blackburn Rovers?
Amazing. I think at the time, the club, Blackburn, were an established Premier League team. They worked the academy really hard and worked hard to make sure it was one of the best in the country, which it was at the time. They've got one of the best training facilities, I think, certainly at the time, and so as far as I know, they still do use that same facility. And yeah, so I was there from 14. And then what happens is when you leave school at 16, you move there full-time straight away. So you leave your family, you go and live in a house with house parents and other teammates. And that makes you grow up really quickly. You're living on site, on the training site. So you're living and breathing football every day, eating properly, sleeping, resting properly, but training properly as well. And it makes you grow up really quick and mature straight into what you want to be as a professional.
It's been 2 years since you've been here to Chennai and been with us at CFC, and you've led the team as captain for both last season and this season as well. So what's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing to come over. Obviously at first, I think in September when I came, I wasn't quite ready physically with not having a pre-season and stuff, so obviously missed out on the first couple of games, and then got in the team and stayed in the team really all the way through. So I don't know how many games I've played so far, but since I've come here, I've loved it. I've loved the training under the manager. I've loved playing under him, because that's obviously one big reason why I came here. And yeah, it's gone so quick. I'm glad they extended for another year. Last year was obviously successful in the end, but we didn't start great. There was loads of challenges in between. We didn't have a big squad anyway, and we lost we lost games that we should have won at the time, so we thought we shouldn't have lost, and been a bit more comfortable getting into the playoffs. But we got there in the end, and it was quite successful looking at what we went through to get into them. I think everyone wrote us off. I think we were second from bottom for after Christmas for a good couple of months, and we managed to put a run together which got us into the top 6, which the club haven't done for a long time, and hopefully we can carry the momentum on into this season and have a much more successful year this year, and secure the playoffs a lot earlier and see where it takes us.
And there's been a lot of changes from last season to this season. A new training ground, pretty much 90% of them are new players from other clubs. So how are you finding all these new changes now from last year?
Yeah, when there's any change in any way of life, whether it's football or something else, there's nothing gels together straight away very quickly, and people might say the Odisha game, it did click very quickly, yeah, of course. Football's different in terms of things can click at different times, but we know what we do have is, in my opinion, I think we have a much stronger squad than we had last season. I think we've got nearly 2 of a player in every position, so we've got strength and depth a little bit. Not as much as others, of course not. We've got much more bigger budgets, but the way Chennaiyin work through the ownership is different, and they like a lot of young players to come through and push on that way, and that's a great way to go about it. And the manager's experienced that in his past. He's brought through a lot of young talent in his time, so there's no better one to come in and steer the bus in the right direction, sort of thing. That he's been there before and he knows how to do it. So, and that was proved last year. I don't think anyone would have given us a chance from where we were sitting at a certain stage of the season to get into the playoffs. And yet we'd have loved to have done better. We lost to Gowan narrowly, which we think again we should have won. And that's why we're so confident this year. We feel we have a better squad, and everyone else, I think everyone else has said they've got better squads as well. So it's a much stronger league, I think, this year. It'll be a lot tighter than. What I mean by that is no one will run away with anything. I think it'll be a lot more closer, and hopefully we can be right up there.
What's your favourite thing about Chennai?
I sit here. I know I've been here long enough now, but I haven't really seen that much of it. Obviously we train, go and rest, go to the gym, go and rest, play games, go and rest, and these are quite friendly. I don't know where our little mate's gone now, but the dogs are all friendly around our training pitch. There's always a lot of them together, and they always come over looking for the little treat and stuff. So we look after them well. Connor always brings a little tub of food for them from the hotel. So yeah, the dogs are great. I haven't been down to the beach or nothing like that. The people are nice as well. The people, wherever you're outside, if there's any fans out there, they come up and approach you really generously, asking nicely for photos and stuff like that. So yeah, the people have been great as well from the outside, from when I have been out.
I don't know if you remember this, but when we came and picked you up at the airport, there were a bunch of fans that were waiting out for you. So I think Lucas, he put a story on Instagram saying he's traveling, so they tracked his flight and then they came and they wanted to receive y'all at the airport. So at that moment is when you see how passionate these fans are and how much they love you beyond, everything. And that sort of welcome, how did that moment feel for you especially?
That made it feel a lot more nicer to be back. Obviously it was nice enough, you've had a nice break, you want to come back and you want to get the ISL started as soon as possible and get pre-season out the way. But yeah, it just shows you how passionate the club and the fans are when they're waiting for you at the airport at their own time. I think it was early in the morning when we landed, so I'm sure they don't live close by to the airport, and they've travelled a few miles as well to come and greet us. So, and I see him again the other night at the stadium. I know we lost the game 1-0, but there's nothing to be doom and gloom about, because we know we were, especially the first 30 minutes, we were outstanding and created a lot of chances where last season, I suppose you could say, for example, like the Hyderabad, the home game we lost, we didn't deserve to win, and we didn't look great. Whereas the other night there were signs, loads of signs there, as there was in the Odisha game, that we're a good team, and the only way we lost was because we lost by beating ourselves in terms of mistakes. And we know when we cut the mistakes out, I'll certainly limit them to a very low number, and not as many as we have been doing in the previous season, that we've got a chance of being successful and going competing against the best teams, as we've shown this season and last season, in terms of Odisha away and Mohunbagan away and places like that.
Football can be tough and it is challenging. So what's one of the hardest part of the job that not a lot of people know about?
For me now, probably being away from family. So I had a daughter in 2022, just after Christmas, and she's 3 in January. I still haven't been around for one of her birthdays. It's obviously, you get a very, very guilty feeling about that. I know on Christmases, I've only had one Christmas with her, and she was in hospital because she weren't well. So you miss a lot of stuff like that, which is hard. And they can come over and visit and that, which they will do, of course, and they did do last season, which is great and something to look forward to. So that's a big tough one, sacrifice. No one sees a lot of being on the other side of the world on a different time zone. Even can be difficult to communicate with phone calls and FaceTime and stuff because of such a different time. And I think that's probably the biggest one. Football, there's a lot of sacrifice for anyone in different ways, being away from family, and you could see players' situations could be different, and they could be coming back from an injury, or they could have had a big move and it hasn't worked out and they've got to start again. So there's loads of different situations in any player's career, and it throws all sorts of different challenges at you. And the way football is, you've just got to get through it as best as you can, play as best as you can, perform, train, and hopefully the rewards will come to you once you work hard and get your own house in order. performance-wise.
And who are you closest to in the squad?
Right now, so my roommate Connor on away trips, we're obviously from the same area near enough, a couple of hour drive across the border, and two very similar cities, I think Liverpool and Glasgow historically, even though one's Scottish and English, but I think the people are a lot similar in terms of personalities and stuff, so yeah, I'm quite close to Connor right now. And all the foreigners really, the foreigners are all in the hotel together of course, so you're eating dinner, breakfast, lunch with each other and the coaches as well. But the Indian lads are all great obviously as well, we get on fantastic with them. There's, since I've come to the club I've been very close with Anchor, so when my family come he's been great with them as well. He always gets me little daughter when she's here, a little present all the time, so yeah, Anchor's great with the family when they come over.
Who's the funniest of the lot? Or who are the funny, I mean, if there are more than one?
The funniest out there? I'd say just off the top of my head today, Finty's funny for the wrong reasons, just because he's not the cleverest, let's put it that way. He's getting asked questions and answering just things he's not even been asked, so he's funny in a different way like that. So yeah, we have a laugh all together. It's a good bunch of lads, and you're always laughing around after training, before training, when it's right to, after we've worked hard.
And if you weren't playing football, what would your profession be? Or I'll put it this way, if you could choose to do any other job or any other profession, what would it be?
I'd just stick to sport. I'd say I'd have went into boxing or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Ryan Edwards, the boxer.
Yeah. I like the training of it anyway, back home, so I'd have probably, I don't know, maybe went into that. Because I wasn't clever at school, so it wouldn't have been nothing academically.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for spending time with us, and we hope to see you soon again in the next training session, and good luck for the next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.